Now that we've vectored the pig with the pen tool, and then on top of those paths I've applied brushes, and then we expanded those brushes, and then we erased the areas we needed to erase, and then we selected everything and united into a single vector, the pig. And now the next thing to do, this will be very quick and easy, the live paint and the blob brush tools in order to color. Let's see how that's done. Alright. Now, I didn't do this with the sketch one and applying the brushes to it. I should have. I'm going to go ahead and do it for this one. I'm going to keep this vector I have here, and I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to click on my options menu here and go to duplicate vector layer. I'm going to lock this one. I'll go ahead and hide it. This one I'm going to rename, double click, flat colors, and we'll do all of my coloring on this one. And now I can get rid of my original back here and just look at my vector. Alright, first thing we need to do is select everything. We're going to go up to Object, Live Paint, and Make. You have to do that first, and then we can go to our paint tool. You can hit K on your keyboard and it'll go straight to it, or you'll have to find it in here, and if you don't see it in here, you'll need to click down here on the three dots where it says Edit Toolbar, and you're going to have to scroll through here until you find it. Very nicely, they're in organized sections. We're obviously going to be want to be painting, so there it is, the live paint tool. You click on it, and you can click and drag it into your toolbar there if you like, and then click on the three dots. And there we go. And you're going to select colors in your fill area. So double click that. We're doing pink. It's a pig. Now, there's everywhere it's going to get highlighted like that and outlined wherever the live paint recognizes closed areas, a closed shape that it can apply paint to. So as I go over his body like this, Illustrator saying this is not a closed shape. Why? Well, as you can see, right here is an area where it's not closed. It would spill out onto the artboard, and Illustrator does not recognize the artboard as something to color, and so therefore it's saying, no, I can't apply color here because it's just going to spill out. So we can fix that because it just for the sake of showing, otherwise we'd have to do this with the blob brush tool, which would take a little bit more time. So what we'll do, I'll come down here, I'll get my direct selection tool, click on this, and just kind of expand it until it overlaps and can be recognized as a closed area. And then I'm going to come over here to the other side, do the same thing with this part of his hand. Expand it. So if that's the only area, then we should be good. So let's go back to K, and there you go. Let's get our pink back. Now whenever I go over his body, Illustrator says, okay, this isn't a closed shape. So I can click and just throw some color in there. Do the same thing for his nose, make it a little bit darker. So here's the color I'm currently using. And I'm just going to go down and select the darker pink. Hit OK. Fill that in right there. Go ahead and fill that area in. Maybe an even darker pink now for that inside of his nose. Go down to like right there. Black for his eyebrows. And for his eyes. Black, black. Might have to zoom in. And I just hit Command plus to zoom in and Command negative in order to zoom out. And get his hooves here. Okay, not really recognizing it, but that's okay. we can very easily go to our blob brush tool, Shift B, or it's right here, along with the paintbrush tool, blob brush. Just make sure it's black. And at least for an area this small, all you have to do is just paint black right there. Looks like, select all of that. You know what? Let's get our magic wand brush tool right here, and hover over this black stroke area, because it does not seem to be the black we really want. And that's not. All right. Okay. As is often the case, it was just a matter of expanding. Just needed to expand, so I selected all of them, and we had to go to expand, and we needed to make sure that the fill and the strokes were expanded. And then I was able to use the magic wand, just click on the black areas, the stroked areas, because I wanted them to be all of the same 100% black. As you could see, they weren't. Okay, so there we go. We have our pig colored. All right, maybe I can use my direct selection tool. And if you wanted to add areas of shadow, let's go ahead and duplicate the flat colors. Lock it, hide it. Name this one shadows. Okay. Use your direct selection tool. Click on the shape that you want to add shadows to. And we're going to use our knife tool. And in order to make this even easier to see, what I'm going to do is I'll keep the flat colors layer on here, and on my shadows layer, I'm going to get my magic wand tool, click on all of those black outlines and delete it, so that on this layer are just all of my colors, and you'll be able to see a little bit better what I'm doing here. So I'll keep the flat colors off for now that has the black strokes on it, so you can see what I'm doing here. So going to select the shape, right? This is just a color shape, and what I'm going to be doing is using my knife tool, which should be in with my eraser tool. There we go. And I'll turn this back on. I think right about here I want to add kind of like a shadow onto his arm. So I'm going to be cutting into this shape, and you want to make sure, just like if you think of this shape as a piece of paper, you want to make sure that, you know, I'm not going to start cutting right here in the middle or some portion of it. I need to start outside of the shape and cut all the way through the shape wherever I'm cutting. So I'm going to start right outside here, and I'm going to start just holding my click, and I'll make one cut there, and then I'll start a new cut right here. I'm just holding that click, and I'll just go all the way. Oop, I need to Command Z that. Do that one more time. I think I'll maybe go to there, and then I'll come down like this, and make sure I go all the way outside of that shape. Do a full cut. So I can go back to my selection tool, click off, and what I've done is it's all together. I can use my direct selection tool. So I cut out this shape from the hand, which means what I can do, I'll go ahead and put the strokes back on, use my direct selection tool, click on the shape that I cut, click on this pink and go to a darker pink, and there we go. I added a little bit of shadow there on, and I can do that all across anywhere I want. So if I wanted some right here, I'm not able to cut through here, right? I want to be able to cut through here because this is just all, I don't want to cut through it, but I might want some shadow there. So in that case, what I'll do, using that same, I can use my command, just press I on my keyboard to make sure I get that color, and I can go to my blob brush tool, Shift B, and I can make it larger by pressing on the bracket keys. The right bracket makes the brush larger, the left bracket makes it smaller. And maybe I wanted some kind of shadow going on here or something. Yeah, we'll just paint that in. Alright, probably do a little bit better than that, but you get the idea of what I'm going for. So you can use the blob brush tool to add your shadows. You can use the knife tool to cut into your shapes, and then use your direct selection tool to select what you cut and just add a darker color to it, and you'll be able to get shadows in that way. Okay, so that is it for coloring. Just make sure that whenever you're finished with your live paint tool, that the only thing you need to do is have everything selected, and you want to expand everything. Just make sure everything's expanded, and then save your work, and you're done with this checkpoint.